this, she needed to somehow get there, which she was unable to do at the moment. Unexpectedly, the man explained that Ansoni's assistant was ill from the rose curse, which was common in the Empire. Rose had no idea that for such people, any touch of the flower was practically fatal. The girl was very shocked by the fact that one touch could create such a huge threat to health. Here the maids began to whisper that Rose not only forced Ansony to touch the flowers, but also tried to brazenly enter her mother's room. The woman said that they met the lady at the door only today, but she could have come on other days. They reported that items had been disappearing from Beatrice's room recently, but it was unclear who was responsible. The heroine felt hurt when she heard the words that people never change in life, and she cannot be trusted. But then the Duke, unexpectedly for everyone, asked the maid what she should actually be watching first and foremost. He announced that everyone had to watch over his daughter's safety, as she
Hello po, Sir Arindam.
She also had the rose curse. Since nothing was said about this in the novel, Rosalina did not even suspect that she had this illness. Meanwhile, the owner of the estate stated that the maid had neglected her duties, which surprised her. So the Duke ordered that this woman be sent to prison as soon as possible until he decided what to do with her next. Looking at all this, Rose thought that she did not expect such behavior from her father, but she did not mind. The girl bent down and began to pick up the flowers, regretting that her plan to get into the room had ultimately failed. However, the lady was not going to give up on this, so she picked up the flowers from the floor, which were actually artificial. She did this to show Mr. Brighton that he didn't have to worry about her because of the curse. The man was very surprised, since he had never seen anything like it before, and only then did he take the rose to take a closer look. And the girl took advantage of the moment, and sweetly blinking her eyes, asked if she could leave it in her beloved mother's room. To the lady's great surprise, the father suddenly silently took one of the flowers from the bouquet, which she could not have expected. After which, the Duke of Brighton called his daughter to follow him, and Miss immediately guessed where exactly they would now go together. The Duchess's joy knew no bounds because her plan had succeeded, so she smiled happily. Entering Beatrice's room, the daughter and father looked at the only painting where a woman was holding little Rose in her arms. After which, the girl began to carefully and beautifully arrange the flowers throughout the room, creating beauty. She had to look as carefully as possible behind the statue, where, as it was written in the novel, the fairy artifact was kept. But before Rosalina could take even a couple of steps towards the statue, the Duke grabbed her by the collar. For the first time in his life, the man decided to talk to the girl about what happened in the past, revealing his true feelings. And the lady had to obediently listen to the man, because she didn't know when they would talk to him like that again. Only at the very last moment was Rose able to take advantage of the Duke's distraction and take out the artifact. It wasn't easy for her, but the heroine was happy that she was able to do everything, and so she locked herself in the room.
have one
After
more
which, since the miss was tired of looking at the thing, she immediately opened the box and looked inside.
But
The
this one
entire
is
contents of this rare
ordinary.
family heirloom glowed with a faint glow that Rosalind liked. She smiled, and placing the fairy egg on her hand, whispered an offer of friendship,
They're from
hoping that it would
Indonesia.
work.
Welcome
And
to my
indeed,
life.
right after these words, a sign
This
appeared
is
on the
what
lady's
I'm
forehead,
eating.
indicating that she had become the new owner of the artifact. Rosalina was glad that the mark disappeared as quickly as it appeared, and no one would know about it now. That same evening, the
Ganito
girl
kasi
went
ang
shopping,
panada sa amin
when
at
she was
may
caught
hindi
in
siya
very
ganun
bad weather
kalaki.
in the form of rain.
Compare
Rosalina
sa
didn't
mga
expect
nabibili ko
anything
sa
like this at all,
iba.
so she didn't even take an umbrella with her and
Pinadeliver ko
looked at
lang
the
po
sky
to
in
eh.
confusion. Moreover, the lady
Di
was
ko alam
sure
kung
that
saan
there
siya
would be a
bumigay.
quarrel at Antony's estate because she had
Yung
gone for a walk
delivery.
alone. Deciding to try to reach the carriage, Rose stepped forward when she suddenly collided with the head of the guild. The guy himself was surprised by this meeting, since this time he was not looking for a miss for dialogues about their cooperation.
Malaki na to sa
Rosalind
inyo.
looked at the gentleman and asked what he was doing in this place
Sa
in such
akin parang
rainy
maliit
weather.
siya.
Unexpectedly, without saying anything to the Duchess, Arzentian leaned almost towards her face, which visibly
Ganito
embarrassed
kasi
her.
ang panada
The
sa
Duke
amin,
did this
Kuya
to check how
Prince.
wet the lady was, as he wanted to give her his cloak. As a result, when the heroine closed her eyes in confusion, the guy covered her from the rain, which greatly surprised the girl. After which Arzentian pointed his finger behind him and said that there was a carriage behind him, and he could give him a ride wherever he needed. Rosalind was pleased with this care, and she did not refuse, asking to be taken to the Falsden mansion. When they arrived, the guild leader suddenly asked the lady to return his clothes, which she did not expect at all. Then Rose asked him directly if he had a close relationship with any girl, which seemed strange to him. The guy
Miss
didn't expect
Greg,
such a question
sino
at all,
to si
because they usually
AC?
didn't ask about something like
Wala, hindi
that,
ako
so he froze for a
familiar.
while. Eventually, the Duke admitted that he was not in a relationship, and this visibly pleased Rosalind, causing her to smile, after which the Duke of Brighton's daughter explained that she would return the cloak as
Tacos,
soon as
it's
she had
not
washed it
tacos.
properly. But the
Empanada.
head was not at all satisfied with this option, so he grabbed the clothes and demanded that they be returned right now. Rose asked why he was talking about this, and the
Pakagat,
Duke
Miss Greg.
explained
Sino ka
that at the
muna?
time, the lady was still a married woman. But this statement did not shame the miss at all, but for some reason only brought a
Dalawa yung
satisfied grin
binili
to her
ko.
face. Rosalina smiled with absolute confidence,
Suka yung
because she
natulo ha,
believed she knew
suka.
something that her business partner did not. Only after all this did the Duke of Brighton's daughter declare that her freedom was actually closer than her friend thought. Hearing this, the guy thought hard, because he did not perceive divorcing himself as gaining freedom. Literally a few minutes later, when Miss spoke to her husband, he suddenly announced that the divorce was off. Moreover, Arzentian demanded back the check that he had managed to pay, but Rosa spent it at the auction. The Duke explained that this check serves as notarial proof, and without it, it is impossible to get a divorce. But the heroine was not satisfied with this option, and she reminded that they both had already agreed to divorce. But to this, Arzentian replied that their entire wedding was a lie, so
Another
the girl had
one.
no right to say such words. The final
We
argument
call
was
this
that Miss might change her
empanada.
mind and not get divorced due to the absence of that very check. All these words made the heroine incredibly angry, although she understood that there was some truth in them. Here the Duchess suggested writing a receipt, and the guy pretended to think about this proposal. Rosalina was eagerly awaiting a response from her husband, as she desperately wanted to finally get a divorce. But the Duke merely showed his wife the door and asked her to come back next time only when she brought the necessary check. As a result, Rosalina couldn't hold back and screamed at the top of her lungs about how much her own husband annoyed her. Suddenly, a sign appeared in front of the girl with a quiet sound, which appeared with different
Hello,
notifications.
Sim
And this
Heartbeat.
time, she reported that
Sir
Rosa was fined
Wesley.
for failing to fulfill her personal assignment.
Yung product sa mall, 1,119 pesos sa presyo. Pero sa Temu, piso lang dahil quoting manufacturer kami.
She reported that Rosa was fined for
Sabi po
failing
Sir
to fulfill her
Alberto,
personal
merienda
assignment for
time,
divorce.
yes.
Since the heroine did not want to receive any punishment at
Nagutom
all,
kasi ako.
she immediately rushed to the guildmaster. Less than an hour later, Rose unceremoniously burst into his office and shouted from the doorway that she urgently needed his help. Since the guy didn't react at first, the Duke of Brighton's daughter came close, after which the gentleman noticed her. He asked quite calmly what the purpose of the lady's visit was, since he himself, unlike her, was
Kain.
in
Mas
no hurry.
masarap yung
Rose was
empanada dito
pleased
sa
that the leader had
Ilocos.
gotten straight to the point, so she smiled before beginning the
Compared dun sa
conversation.
Manila, guys.
But quite unexpectedly, the
Matigas
Duchess was
yung
overcome by a
wrapper.
fit of hunger, as she forgot that she had eaten nothing at all
Mainit
since
pa.
the morning. Without any embarrassment, the girl asked her partner if he had any food before their conversation. Arzentian had food at the place, but he immediately warned that it might not suit the
Hello
lady's
sis,
tastes.
Amaya.
But Rose only smirked in response, since in the previous
Yes,
world,
sukang
she was an
Ilocos is
ordinary
better.
student
Yeah.
who ate poorly. So she asked
Masarap
the guy
ang
not to
suka
talk
din
anymore,
dito.
but to at least bring something so that they could have a snack. As a result, the Duke brought warm rye bread for the miss, which almost the entire empire was famous for. He said that according to the rules, this bread had to be
What's
generously
inside
greased
the
with delicious butter.
empanada?
To taste, even honey was
It
added
has
to
a
all
meat.
this, but
We
few
call
people
the
liked
meat
that, even though
longganisa.
the guy brought the dish. In the
And
end,
full
Rosalina was
of
almost in seventh place
vegetables.
from happiness, since for her it was all incredibly delicious. The lady even thought that the
Sometimes
guild leader
it's
would bring
full
her moldy
of
bread because of his words.
papayas
But that didn't
with
happen. Moreover,
mongo.
for Rose, all this food was
What's
very
mongo
good,
in
but
English?
she was
I
not
don't
going
know.
to admit it at all. Since the heroine, due to her
And
absent-mindedness,
garbage.
began to eat
Like
with her
that.
hands, Arzentian asked whether she had not been taught manners at home. But to stop the boy from grumbling anymore,
Ano po Sir
Rosalina
Roel?
resourcefully stuffed one of the delicious
Dalan mo
sandwiches
ako
into his
niyan,
mouth.
Rich.
After which the
Pag
girl with a sweet smile
nadalaw,
asked
hala,
if it was
sino
tasty,
ikaw?
since she herself liked everything very much. But the Duke
Sino
himself
muna
reacted
ka?
rather
Sino muna
coolly
ikaw?
and even refused more of such delicious food. In response to all the insolence, Rosalina only laughed and harmlessly openly compared the mister to an angry cat. Arzentian
Hello
looked
po
at the girl
Sir
with wide eyes and could not
Krisnel.
understand whether she had always been so cheerful
Ayan,
and attractive
napin
to
na.
everyone. He thought that upon hearing
Thank
about
you.
such food,
And it
the miss
also
would
has
become
a
furious
egg.
and even knock over the table, but would not eat such food. But in the end, this Rosalina acted completely differently from the one with whom
Thank
the
you
Duke
po,
seemed
Rob.
not to have lived at all for these 3 years. The guy couldn't understand whether the girl had ever been truly real with him, or was pretending all the time. Suddenly, Rose lifted the keg of
Wala,
drink
sino
to clink it
ikaw?
with the gentleman's keg and make a speech. The
Sino
Duke of Brighton's
ikaw?
daughter smiled and said that from that moment
Sir,
on, they were both officially
wait.
starting their
Mamaya ko
business.
basahin yung
Since the
Korean
gentleman
name
was
mo.
not at all against drinking to such a thing, he joined the restless lady's idea.
Daming suka.
Suddenly, the heroine reached into
Wala
her pocket
kasing
and pulled
nilagay
out
na
a rose,
suka.
which Arzentian
Ano
immediately knocked
lang?
out of her hands. After which, with great
Ketchup.
concern, he grabbed the girl's face with his hands, examining her for damage. The Duke knew very well about the curse of his wife's rose, which is why he was so worried about the consequences. But Rose explained to the mister that the
Magandang
flower was
araw
not
po,
real,
Sir
and he,
Egberto.
instantly calming down,
I miss the
picked it up
vegan
for
longganisa
himself.
too.
It
Ooh.
turned out that the Duke of
Yeah.
Brighton's daughter came up with the idea of
It's
selling
full
these
of
roses because they looked real
vegetables
but did not carry a
and
curse.
longganisa.
Arzentia
You tried
immediately
longganisa
calculated that the
before?
prices for this product, if it were
Mm.
made premium,
Our
would be
longganisa
incredibly high.
here is
The Duke
better
couldn't pass up
than
such business, so he offered the
vegan
girl a
longganisa.
contract with his henna guild. As a result,
So if
the
you
next
want,
morning, Miss was
you
extremely
can just
pleased with
drop
herself
by here in
because
our
she had been able to
town.
work very productively the
I'll
previous
show
day.
you where to buy
True, because of
longganisa.
this, Rose did not get enough sleep,
But
so she barely
longganisa
got out
here
of bed
in
this
our
morning,
town
although she
is
really enjoyed sleeping. Looking out the window, the
expensive.
Duchess discovered that it was almost daytime, but
In
absolutely
1
no one had woken
kilos,
her up. Miss found this
660.
very strange, and she went around the estate in her pajamas to look for her maid
But
Anthony.
it's so good.
Suddenly, the girl saw other
Maharlika yung
assistants somewhere at the
longganisa
bottom of the
namin.
stairs, who were saying something bad about her. They tried to figure out which of them would go to Rose's room to finally wake the young lady from her sleep. Moreover, the younger maids were most afraid of waking the Duke's daughter, although they did not
But
really give
that
any reasons for
longganisa is
this.
so good.
Those who were senior in status
Swear.
stated that, except for the younger ones, there was no one to go to the young lady's room.
Magandang hapon,
Rosalina
Miss
sat down on
Greg.
the steps
Hello
of the
sa'yo, Sir
stairs
Black
and began
Cat.
to listen with interest to the conversations of these assistants who did not notice her.
Kamusta?
It so happened that although the head maid was in prison,
You're in
those who
Hidden
hated Rose had
Garden.
not yet completely disintegrated. The heroine knew about this whole situation very well,
1 hour
but did not resolve it in any purposeful way
trip,
due to
Sir
the complexity of this matter.
Cornelio.
Suddenly, one of the maids looked up and saw the Duke's daughter,
That's
who was
the
silently
nearest
watching them from the
city here
steps.
in our
She
town.
immediately reported what she had seen to the other assistants, without even
Ano
trying to
kinakain mo,
hide it
te?
from Rosalina's eyes.
Ano?
The girl herself
Empanada.
continued to watch with interest what these evil maids would do next. Imagine the Duchess's
Empanada, guys.
surprise when those servants simply turned away
Nagkikrave
from her
kasi
and
ako
ran
ng
away,
empanada
as if
kasi
they had not discussed
nagugutom
it
din
before.
ako.
The lady could not understand
This
this
is
at all,
how I eat
because the maids did
empanada.
not
I put
apologize to her
some
for their bad
vinegar
behavior.
and I put
The heroine could not
some
understand where these
ketchup.
assistants got such a strong confidence in their own impunity. She had an unpleasant feeling, as if these servants had some kind of dangerous and powerful support for her. Here, unexpectedly, the lady suddenly called out to Anthony,
This
which
is
the
my
miss did not
second
expect,
empanada.
and therefore was somewhat frightened because of this. The maid immediately grabbed the young lady and dragged her back to her
Kasi
room, because walking around the estate in pajamas was not
paubos ko na.
allowed.
Ganito
While
siya.
getting ready, sitting in front of the mirror, Rosalina admired her appearance, considering herself beautiful.
Sayang
The
mahal
maid,
mo na ng
looking at all
mayonnaise.
this, asked
Wag
with slight
na
concern
yun.
if the mistress was
Over
tired of
na
looking at
yun.
herself like that. In response, the heroine quite sincerely
Pero promise,
explained how the
pagkakain ka na
assistant could
empanada
even think
dito
about
sa
such a thing
Ilocos,
and ask her.
try
She
yung
said that she looked at herself
lagyan ng
every
suka
moment,
tapos ng
but
ketchup.
Anthony
Mas malasa.
With olive oil and keratin for silky straight hair.
Guys, mas malasa. Sinasabi ko sa inyo. Huy, Sir Jared, hello. Sir Jared, my birthday and my wedding is close. Are you going? Are you coming here? You invite also Miss B and Miss Ben. Sir Vegas is going back to US, right?
looked at herself anew every moment, but Anthony was not interested
Oo,
in all this.
sarap.
Suddenly, the Duchess stopped admiring the view and said that she wanted
This is
to
my
discuss something,
second
which surprised the maid. The girl admitted,
empanada.
somewhat confused, that for some reason she had
I
been
already
constantly
ate
having nightmares
one.
lately. This information really scared the assistant,
And I'm
so she
kinda
worriedly
full
asked
na.
for more details.
Ang talaga.
It was not difficult
Salamat
for the
po, Sir
heroine,
Wes.
because the memories were fresh. So, after thinking a little, she began her story about these terrible dreams. Rose reported that every time in this dream, she opens her eyes in a completely unfamiliar place, which for some reason she
You're
sees for the
gonna
first time.
go
But the
back?
strangest thing was that for some reason she was shouting very loudly and angrily at some unknown man. He answered the girl somewhat
Daming
sluggishly,
suka.
and with each of his words, her heart broke more and more,
Sayang.
although the miss did not know why. As a result, When Rose woke up, she could not remember what the guy called her in his sleep.
Teka,
The
magluto
assistant listened
muna ako ng
attentively to the
hapunan.
young lady's entire
Diyan
story
muna ka. Sige
and was
po, the
extremely
black cat.
surprised by the details.
Pasalubong
Then
ko
suddenly, the
Miss
Duke of Brighton's
Mitch,
daughter
sukang
changed
Ilocos
her
guide,
mind about
isang
listening
bote
to the
lang
maid's
pagbalik mo dito.
and said
Sige.
that she urgently needed to go
Sige.
somewhere on her own business. Anthony
Kunin
watched
mo kay Miss
Rosalina with
Beng.
surprise, unable to understand why she
Okay,
had run
what
away
do you
so
want,
abruptly.
guys?
The only
Pasalubong.
thing is that the maid managed to ask a question
Wag
about
lang
export.
longganisa, mahal
The
longganisa
lady
dito sa
immediately
amin.
refused it. Finally,
I mean, may
Rose
mura
shouted to the
naman,
maid
tagwa
that she would definitely be
140
back for dinner,
pesos.
so she didn't
Pero
have
hindi
to worry.
masarap.
Lady Philistin smiled sweetly at the maid, as she was confident that she would carry out all her
Salamat
orders
po, Sir
completely. In
Alberto.
fact, the Duke of Brighton's daughter ran away in order to find the head of the guild, which was easy for her. The guy was busy with his own business at the time, so he wasn't entirely happy about this meeting, although he didn't object. He
Chicharon.
said that he
Mahal.
himself wanted to talk to the girl a little later,
Ay,
so
chicharon
he
mo bag
extended
na
his hand to
mahal.
help her down. After thinking for a
Pag mo
bit,
na
Rosalina accepted the help of the
padaanin
masked
kay
gentleman,
Ben, sa'yo
although she
ko na
couldn't
kunin.
really
Ay,
do
wag!
it on her own.
Di ba gusto,
The
di
lady
ba ano,
suddenly
para
became
mamit mo din
delighted
si
when
Miss
she
Beng
thought
ng
that her partner
personal.
would like to talk about their common business. But Arzentian did not share the girl's joy at all.
Mamaya lang ako makikimik. Pa-Shopee po. Oh. Sir Jared, are you still there? When is your flight? Hindi na ayaw ko magkagulo. Ako na mas mahalo sa mga... Do we have it all planned out? Anything missing that you wanted? Yeah, it's all good. Sir Jared. Yeah. I fly late Monday. Ah, what? I thought you will stay here for quite long. Filipina ka? Yes po, ma'am. Bag check. Hello po, Sir Carlos. Have you told your boyfriend about us yet? What about us? There's no us. And he's not my boyfriend. He's my fiancé. Hello, you're from Indonesia. Speak Spanish? No, Sir Carlos. Over 6 months na, gotta go back before What? What? Sir Jared, you've been here for 6 months? Really? What? But, wait. I have like this, I know someone that who stays over 6 months. He stay for like, he stay for like 1 year, like that. O matagal na dito yan. Ay talaga. Matagal ka na pala dito. Akala ko kakalipad niya lang papunta dito sa Pilipinas. I have just August. What? Wait, where you stay, Sir Jared? Where did you stay here in the Philippines? Where did you go? Do you have like a girlfriend here? Hindi lang ako nagpapakilala pa. Ha? Nakasalubong ko na rin yan sa daan. Ay, talaga? Hoy, Sir Dragon. Magpakilala pag nakita mo ko para, hindi na ako magulat sa susunod. Hindi, para magtago ako, charot. Bakit ganda ba sa... sige, wait lang. Ano ba? Good afternoon, ganda. Kamusta na? Kakinasal ka na? Hindi pa po. Ikakasal pa lang po na itong next week. Mostly, mostly in Toledo City, Cebu. Oh, Cebu. Short stay in mountains near Danau City. Oh. So, how many months you stay in Cebu? Okay. Wait, what like place, like maybe a town you can recommend like to visit in Cebu? Because I also want to go to Cebu. 5 of the 6. Anong 5 of the 6? Hello po, Miss Evelyn. Bakit ang laki na ng eyebags mo ngayon? Umiyak ka ba? Malaki talaga eyebags ko. Nagpupuyat kasi ako. Msgreg, Miss CJ! Hello sa'yo, Miss CJ. Ganda. I miss you too. Katapos ko lang magmerienda, Miss CJ. Empanada. Ilocos. Sir Jared! Sir Jared, you didn't tell me you stay here for so long. I thought you are in USA before. Umiyak sa anghang at asim. Hindi nga ako umiyak at hindi ako umiyak. Dragon. Tumutulo yung yung sipon ko. Tumulo sipon ko kasi maanghang yung suka ito. Manghang. Tumutulo. Meron pa nga, ayun, basa. Depends on what you're looking to do. Sightseeing. No, yeah, sightseeing and maybe like a good, like a beach. Beach, ocean, like that. Not a beach. Makaibang beach yung niya. There's a temple. No, I don't like temple. But I think there's a popular temple here in the Philippines. Like, it's new. It looks like from, wait, basta. Long time, Sir Gary. Hoy, CJ lang time kasi. Ay, ang sarap ng empanada. Reservoir, no? Miss CJ, may live ka ba? Naka-live ka ba, Miss CJ? Miss CJ, ikakasal na ako pala. Miss CJ, ikakasal na ako. Alam mo na ba na ikakasal na ako, Miss CJ? My boy for visiting West Coast Camotes Islands. Wait. Camotes. Wait lang. Let me take a screenshot for that. Ang lakas ba ng screenshot rinig? Beef, Beef empanada, yan ang maganda sa sukang Ilocos. Beef empanada, hindi ko pa na-try yun. Saan ba nabibili yan? Congrats upon nabanggit mo po dati. Nabanggit ko ba? Thank you, Miss CJ. Thank you. Kamusta ka na, Miss CJ? Anong balita doon pala sa sa pagja-Japan? Kailan ka pala lilipad? Kailan ka lilipad, Miss CJ? Kasi yung yung jowa ng pinsan ko, maglilipad na siya sa March. Netong March. I make empanada. Ay, talaga! Anong empanada yan? Yung parang vegan empanada. Kasi may mga empanada yung parang kulay brown, di ba? Yung parang empanadang Tagalog ata yung ganun. Makalis na nga muna, hindi mo naman binabasa ang comment ko. Hala! Hindi ko ba nababasa? Sorry may mga hindi ako nababasa na comment. Sorry po. Hello, Sir AJ. Sir Seth. Miss Greg, ewan, di ko din... Ay, hindi mo itutuloy. Bakit? Sayang naman. Ewan ko, di ko alam if itutuloy ko. Go mo na yan, Miss CJ. Bakit ka nagdadalawang isip pa? Guys, may bisita tayo. Mag-end muna ako. Charot. Hindi, mamaya na ako mag-end. Empanada, te.
Panada?
Mm-mm.
Sana all.
Sana all. Di nagay-ayab.
Paano? Ay, di pag-o.
Zay! May kanto'y pasangitan ka?
Oo, Kim, kasangsangi na. Dabilit. No, dabilit.
Ang sublada kasi nasa parang ayaw akong ay, talaga? Ala. Okay.
Good mood na siya. Uy, naka-live eh!
Naka-live. Hello, lagpanatang. Lagpanatang napay sa.
Okay, papada tayo na.
Nagpanatang ng tanangan na gamit iti da sili na ate. Ala.
Namumukhaan niya yan. Hindi na iyak ka. Ayan, kilay na yan talaga.
May naagpo pa yung magkasdiwi.
Hi guys. Hi
Kung naipaginid.
TikTok.
YouTube. YouTube. Ano niya naman? Tama natin. Ang YouTube bag. Badi, tubing.
Madito ubig.
Cute baby. Cute nakatalikod lang. Cute na agad. Hala, cute kayo bata. Opo, Sir Jared.
Bumra natin.
Mangmangan kat agla-live.
Wow. Wala ka kumain mushroom pa kanina.
Ay, wow.
Mushroom na. Hindi ko lang wait natin. Naimas natin.
Ang kaya mushroom.
Kaya ka na.
Mm-mm.
Naikamarunggi na. Naging.
Halag, sangitan. Maraming tayong bisita. Wala, binalik ko baka umiyak kasi. When you are having a baby, Msgreg. Soon. Anak mo yun, Msgreg? Hindi po. Anak ng pinsan ko. Wow. Nanganak agad. Ako pa mo nakagagada. Try mo ano kagad. Padasa man no kagada. Soon, someday get me Msgreg people so I can buy them candy immediately. I don't have PayPal, Sir Jared. I don't have PayPal. Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Omber. I want to, gusto kong paiyakin yung bata. Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you po. Guys, okay. I'm also like, guys, I'm also pregnant. Zoe! Zoe! Diyas, magayab tayo. Ay, bakchok lang.
Ang pangalan ng aso nila.
Guys, the baby's name is Zoe. And we also have a dog. Her name is Zoe too. Yeah, it's the same name with the baby. Zoe! Zoe! Allah! Allah!
Wala sa mood. Hindi mo alam kung iiyak pa at matawa eh. Hindi rin niya alam sa sarili niya kung iiyak siya o tatawa siya eh.
Zoe is a nice name. Ano ang pangalan niya, ate? Queen? Queen or Kin? Queen. Ha? 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 Allah.
Hindi na mo siya.
Allah. ni Alexa, ano, ala ko na iti ka aglibi.
Hindi na perpermi.
Nagsahod na kinit to YouTube. Nakasahod na umati 20,000 na.
Wow. Sa pagla-live? Ba't nakailang views?
Kahit walang views pag may mga magsasend.
Ah. Yung...
Siguro, hello, Miss Anne. Guys, mamaya na lang. Ay mo na.